So DJ Envy is accused of stealing the Carchella name for his car show from Coachella. Now, I mean, right off the bat, you're seeing fonts here, so you can tell he's doing a play on it. As the article reads, DJ Envy is being hauled into court by the organizers of Coachella, who claim he ripped them off and stole their name for his car show. He's from the Breakfast Club. Um, this is a car show where they're having like exotic cars by different artists. But yeah, he's not only taken the name, but he's also taken the logo. And the organizers behind Coachella, he just smacked DJ Envy with a trademark infringement lawsuit, claiming the car show was nothing but a ripoff of the Coachella brand.
Yeah. And, it goes into this, right? Let's create that distinction, right? Earlier in the live stream, I said, when it comes to a trademarked name, we are looking at the name in association with certain categories, right? So just because you get a certain trademark doesn't mean you get to tell everybody else doing all kinds of other stuff not related to what you do not to do it. So for example, Coachella, what are we talking about? Live music events. Is that a car show? No. So wouldn't the argument logically be, well, that's not where you have your trademark. So therefore, sorry, yeah, it kind of sounds like it, but we can do it because it has nothing to do with musical live performances. At least that's what they argued.
And then it also says here in the article that the bosses of Coachella, they claim they asked DJ Envy to come up with another name to avoid the lawsuit, but Envy, ignored the request, and yeah. So they were already put on notice.
Right. And that's an important point of this, guys. If you're getting what's called a cease and desist, if you're getting some kind of notice from someone else that says, hey, I own the trademark for this thing, you're infringing my trademark, that means they tried to hash this out. They said, I'm giving you an opportunity to do the right thing here. I'm giving you an opportunity to go and change the name. Otherwise, we're going to have to sue you. And then because obviously those settlement efforts failed, then they had to, basically follow through with that lawsuit. Now, what was interesting, and so one of the quoted things here, despite repeated requests, DJ Envy and Carchella have refused to adopt their own distinctive event name and mark. So mark means trademark. It's the same thing. Accordingly, Coachella has been forced to file an action to protect its trademark. According to Coachella, they also host car exhibitions. So there is a high likelihood that consumers will assume the brands are associated, since Coachella also markets the festival to the same audiences as DJ Envy. So that's the little wrinkle. That's the difference.
Well, for sure. And the fact that they're using the same logo as well, and they're using the same artwork, that looks like a cosign from the people at Coachella to me.
Right, exactly. And that's a different, I guess, component, because the logo and the font is stylized very similarly. But, basically the simple way to put it is, if Coachella is also doing musical live events, Carchella is doing a car show with live musical events, now they have a much more compelling case that there's going to be, again, we're repeating it, a likelihood of consumer confusion. That's the test when we say someone is using either the exact same trademark that you own or something that is substantially similar. Is Coachella substantially similar to Carchella? And of course, Coachella is arguing yes.
And then something else that I thought was kind of interesting in this article, they also said that that DJ Envy isn't even original, that they constantly have to block things from events being called Carchella. So it's not even like this is something that they already do, and they're going to block him just like they blocked everybody else that's tried to do Carchella. So I thought that was also interesting.
Yeah, exactly. And this comes up a lot, with these big brands, right? So Coachella, everyone knows what it is and are familiar with the brand. And so there will be common infringers that pop up. And it might be someone, let's say, if it's a musical artist, something that happens all the time is that someone will make shirts, right? And they'll sell the shirts. They're not authorized to use the name of the artist or the band. So that's trademark infringement. But, kind of these similar sounding, the reason you do it is because it has that brand name notability. right? And so I think this one is a fantastic
It's
example of what we're
interesting.
talking about when it comes to trademarks, right? And the importance of having that registration because number one, you can't bring a lawsuit until you actually get the piece of paper saying you own the trademark, and that's important. Your timeline on getting a trademark is something around 9 months and even longer if you have a problem. Just because you file a trademark application doesn't mean you're going to get it. You could run into all kinds of issues with other registrations that might be confusingly similar. The trademark attorney might just be having a bad day and decides to, take it out on you. Let's hope that doesn't happen.
So what would you say, like, so this kind of stuff happens, a lot. So back in the day, like in the 90s and stuff, when raves and even concerts today, like tours and stuff, when they take names of other things, but maybe they'll do a spin on another tour, like, I don't know, instead of like a Lollapalooza, they'll do like I don't know, just like a play on the name to say their local show or their concert or whatever kind of event. Would you recommend to people that they don't do that? Or is everybody vulnerable that try to do like a parody or like a play on the name?
You just have to be cautious. I mean, look, if you want to be extra cautious, never intentionally come up with some variation of the name when you know it's a callback to someone else's trademark. Right? I mean, it's just kind of as simple as that. So the point just being that if there's some, common type of show or event, and then you come up with your own version of it, but it's still a callback because you're using the same name or some small variation of it, it's probably this what we're talking about. You're probably gonna be, getting some cease and desist letter. You might be liable for trademark infringement because again, the test is it substantially similar? It's not did you use the exact name. It's did you use something that is now causing consumer confusion to the public because they
Right.
think your thing that you're doing is an association with that other brand.